All the games on the outside lawns are still going, so the second eights, Murray Baum and David Luxmore, are still fighting it out in the last round to determine the winner of the second group of 8 of this year's President's Eights competition. In the third eights, Virginia Arney and Gail Hopkins are still playing. Kerry-Ann Organ and Shirlene McBride are still playing. Organ and Arney are both in contention, so if both players win their respective games in this round, or if both players lose, there will be a playoff in the third eights to determine the winner. At the moment, Kerry-Ann Organ would probably be the favourite, having put in very impressive results this tournament, and done well in some lead-up tournaments to this. Virginia Arney, I don't think, has been playing many big tournaments before this one, but has obviously done reasonably well to win 11 of her 13 games so far. It's actually a fantastic performance, but her winning scores haven't been that great. She's been just sneaking through as opposed to Kerry-Ann's more convincing victories, so that's why I will tip Kerry-Ann there. Also in time-limited games, I think Kerry-Ann Organ has the advantage, being a slightly quicker player, a bit more attacking in her tactics and strategy as well. Virginia Arney seeming to be quite steady and reliable, but by no means speedy. So if time comes into play, Organ is going to make more hoops with the time given to her than Arney. That's my prediction anyway. And now back to untimed games. You just saw Stephen Richards in the background miss a short shot against Trevor Bassett. Richards is leading 10-0, but he's given Bassett basically a tap on there with either blue or black. Bassett will play blue, and that will, or at least should, give an easy start to Trevor Bassett. Trevor's been playing since he was an early teenager, over 20 years now, a very experienced player, a former Australian representative, winner of several major tournaments here in Australia over the years. Alison Sharp still happily trucking around here on lawn 2. Note she's left black on the top left of your screen over on the side of the lawn, so she's going to leave that there for her setup. So she will be unlikely to touch that again in this particular turn, so she's going to leave that there. So the opposition, if they choose to play it, will have nothing nearby to hit. And she'll do the same with blue over on the bottom right-hand side of the lawn, I suspect. Alison, having just run hoop 8 there, will only make one more hoop. That'll make it her 9. Now there are lots of different places and configurations of setting up when one deliberately stops a turn in croquet. That's called a leave for obvious reasons. Unfortunately, I haven't seen enough play or enough mistake-free play to judge what kinds of leaves people are doing this tournament. Normally it changes depending on the players involved and the opponents and the conditions. But from what I've seen, there's been a few loose 2-4 leaves, so a ball on the leg of hoop 4, which is not hittable from the south boundary, and a ball up near hoop 2, or anywhere between hoop 2, which is the top left hoop on your previous screen, and where the black ball is. Both in positions where the player can't or is at no advantage to play the balls where they lie, and if they choose the option of picking up one of their balls and playing it from the starting book, so the positions on the lawn that you can take effectively a free shot from, they're a long way away from anything else. So that's the general leave at the moment. There have been a few other things, but there have been quite a few errors today, partly because of the conditions, partly because of the players involved. So it's been hard to tell. Sharp won't be happy with that here, because blue was supposed to be hard up against the leg of hoop 4, so that a player, the opposition, coming along and wanting to play blue wouldn't be able to get a hit at it with their mallet. She's left a bit of room there, so it'll be interesting to see what she does. She may well set up close to where she is now, and hope that the opposition can't get a backswing on blue and doesn't want to take a shot at her, or she may spread the balls out. It's actually a good camera angle there, because you can see how she's going to try and place yellow in such a way that somebody playing blue can't get a free swing at yellow or red, as it probably will be. So that'll be a good view if the opponent comes out and has a look at blue. So there, she's just testing. She can't touch the blue with her mallet in any testing that she does, but she can, of course, stand around and have a look at things. Alright, so that's a 9 hoops and a good leave, or a reasonable leave at least, from Alison Sharp. Very, very competent player. And Jim Nichols, her fellow countryman, or at least fellow New South Welshman, will have to hit a good shot to get in on this next turn. So Alison leads 9-4. Over in lawn 1, Kevin Beard cross-wired himself across hoop 2, so he tried to place his balls in such a way that they could hit each other by hoop 2, but he accidentally put a hoop between them, so he couldn't do a thing. So he had a go at the hoop and failed it, letting Stephen Forster back in. So Forster is now just doing a setup. Forster having made 9 and Kevin Beard only 2 hoops. So Forster is in the box seat there. Up on lawn 4, Dwayne McCormick made 9, and he is now beginning his second break, or about to begin his second break with his second ball. Eric Ayling's only made 3. Jim Nichols in screen just misses once again down a very slightly wobbly boundary on lawn 2, which is exactly what Sharp wanted. Wanted him to take a long shot and miss, so he'll be sitting down for a while again now as Alison Sharp continues. It's a lovely location here at Canley, as you can see, despite the wind. So Canley, for those of you who don't know, and there are probably not many that do, is in the western suburbs of Melbourne, probably 20-25 minutes from the centre of the city. We can see all the skyscrapers from here. It's very good. It's an area that's developed in the last 10 to 15 years. There was hardly anything here except fields before that, and now there are houses and shopping centres and all sorts of things in the surrounds. It's quite a lively place, and a great venue for the Victorian Croquet Centre, here with 12 lawns. Largest facility in the Southern Hemisphere for croquet, and the home of most of our national events. One unfortunate thing, though, is that the the lawns were built on ground which moves, basically. The earth underneath is not as firm as it could be, and there were some issues in the preparations of the lawns when they were first laid down about, I think it was about 12 or 13 years ago. So that's the cause for a lot of the slight undulations in the lawns. It's nothing you can see from your screen. Any lumps and bumps that you might see here are just bad painting of lines, or not bad painting, but optical illusions caused by painting of lines. But over the length of the lawn there are slight waves and slight hills and slopes, and when the lawn is mown extremely short, just imagine a bowling green or something along those lines, then that can make a difference with the ball travelling the length of the lawn. Alison Sharp there will be very disappointed, having made hoop 1. So she's made 10 hoops now, and that could have been a lot more if she'd made that hoop. But again, not quite enough conviction on the hoop stroke. It ended in the middle. Jim Nichols, though, nowhere nearby. Will have a very tough shot to get in. But he's been good at these tough shots today, so we'll see how he goes. Jim Nichols with his very low grip on the mallet there generates a lot of head speed with that swing. Aims at red and misses. Probably wouldn't want to aim at yellow given that it was stuck in the middle of the hoop. There's a good chance of hitting the wire there as opposed to the ball. But it'll be interesting to see what Sharp does here. The normal play would be to make the hoop with yellow, and then if you're confident, hit black on the boundary. Although that's a lot longer shot, or not a lot longer shot, but it's 2 or 3 yards further away than hitting red. Alison Sharp normally takes the aggressive shot, but having made a couple of mistakes already, may well be happy to just take the short shot here with red and set up. Red, already having made 9 hoops, won't be making any more on this turn, but she will be able to separate black and blue, putting them a long way off the lawn, or a long way away from each other on the far side of the lawn, and setting up together with red and yellow over here somewhere. It'll be interesting to see whether she puts yellow through this next hoop. My guess is that she will, so she'll come to the near side of the hoop. It's the camera side of the hoop. And then with her second shot, hit yellow through with red. So that counts as a score for yellow. Just asking her opponent there whether he wants a referee to come and watch this, because if she causes the yellow to move and does not actually hit it with red, that doesn't count as a hit for obvious reasons. So she's got to have a referee there just to make sure that it is the ball that she hits and not the hoop. No doubt about that one though. Beautiful day down here in Victoria, about 26 degrees, light breeze. What else would one wish to be doing on a day like this? And playing than playing croquet. Watching it is good, but playing it's better. If you're around here in 18 months' time or 15 months' time in February 2020, you'll be able to see the World Championships here in action. A lot of the best players in the world, probably most of the top players in the world, battling it out in an 80-person field, starting with block rounds. So the blocks of 10, all play all in those blocks, and the top 4 out of each block then move on to a knockout format. The knockout starts off with best of 3 matches. So first to winning 2 games. They're untimed games as well, so each of those will be held over the course of a day. Now, top player winning without much opposition can win 2 of those games, or win the match in an hour or a little over an hour. Others, like one of the games you saw this morning with Jim Nichols and Stephen Richards, can go for 3 hours if you get 2 very competitive players playing at a similar standard throughout the game. And of course, if you add up 3 of those 3-hour games, you can be playing all day. But anyway, the top 32 out of the initial 80 players in the World Championships go forward to the knockout rounds, playing best of 3 matches and then best of 5s for semi-finals and finals. And they're going to be here in Victoria from the 15th to 23rd of February. So put that in your calendar for 2020, just in case you were planning a wedding or a holiday or something like that at the time. There'll be a large Australian contingent of players. We have a lot of top players in Australia. So out of the top 80 in the world, we're probably got 15 or 20 players probably. Actually, I can tell you that in a moment while I look up my stats. So at the moment we have 15 of the top 80 players in the world from Australia, which is a very good stat. Only 6 of those 15 are playing in this tournament at the moment. Others, a couple are injured, a couple have work commitments, a couple are overseas. So the numbers are slightly down, or the calibre of field is slightly down from what you could get at this particular event, but nevertheless the players we have here are all seasoned professionals, if you can call a regular player in an amateur sport a professional. Alison Sharp, unfortunately here, has not made it in front of hoop 3, so we'll be setting up. The aim there was to get yellow to the right of red, so that when she came back on the lawn she could hit yellow onto red and make red go towards the hoop. But a little bit of carelessness there from Alison, maybe in frustration after the missed approach to that hoop. Has left her with a trickier start than she would hope for her next turn. Of course, it doesn't mean she's going to get a next turn with the balls as they are. Jim Nichols on the lawn now. Although Jim, his balls are well separated. So blue, which is for hoop 5, is down near corner 4. So that's the southeastern corner of the lawn, and black, which is still going for hoop 1, is slightly northeast of the 5th hoop, the centre of the screen. Now, given where red and yellow have ended up, it looks like Nichols will be shooting blue down in the corner at red and yellow. It's probably a double target from down there. Maybe further away than the other options, but it's best chance he has, or at least he's decided it's the best chance he has of hitting anything, so we'll see what happens. Jim Nichols normally a very good, accurate shot, but over this distance and in this wind, even the best are going to be hard pressed to hit consistently. Looks like that ball turned off to the right there. There is a very slight slope up in that corner of the lawn, but it missed by so much that it was probably an inaccurate shot as opposed to the conditions that took that one off. Jim, a seasoned player though, won't mind that. He knows he's going to get a few more chances in this game. Alison Sharp, now that she hasn't got what she wanted with red and yellow, has to turn around and take a longer shot to hit blue to get the balls back where she wants them. Does this quite successfully and will be very probably making a few more scoring points in the near future. Looks like she's not going for any peeling turns here. For those of you interested in croquet technicalities, she'll just be going for a plain and simple ball to the peg with yellow. So yellow right around through the other 10 of its 12 hoops. Slightly angled hoop 3 here though, has to be negotiated first, and no trouble whatsoever. Now in the background you can see Eric Ayling from Western Australia. He's playing Dwayne McCormick from South Australia. Dwayne is certainly the favourite in that game, having quite a significantly higher ranking than Eric, but Eric is in. And if you are in, you have a chance. Dwayne's made 9 hoops in that game, Eric 3, but Eric's just setting up at the moment. Also the top game in your screen, we have Trevor Bassett playing Stephen Richards, both New South Wales players. Stephen Richards has made 14 hoops, so he's on hoop 5 and hoop 11. Trevor Bassett still on 1 and 2. Just trying to cut rush black from the centre of the lawn across towards hoop 2, only manages to cut it into the leg of hoop 6 to end him up further away than when he started. Now he's got an 8-yard roll into the hoop. Trevor's playing quite well at the moment. In the past or in the last few years anyway, he's struggled with concentration throughout an event, plays some fantastic games and then drops it for a moment or two. This event he seems to have really knuckled down and kept in focus most of the time. Slow start to this game though. He's going to be on the back foot against Stephen Richards. Back to the front of the screen, all's good for Alison Sharp once again. She's got a ball sitting there at hoop 5 already, that's red. She's now got blue there as well. Black is up behind the scoreboard on the screen, which is kind of near hoop 6, which is where she wants it. So she wants a ball at her current hoop, something that she can hit when she goes through it, and a ball at the next hoop. Doesn't have to worry about that slope at hoop 5 this time. Alison Sharp now having made 5 hoops with her striker's ball and 9 with the other one. Got a total of 14 hoops. Jim Nichols still on 4. So Alison very successfully putting her foot down on her fellow New South Welshman. And he's a good player to be beating too. He's won the New South Wales bronze medal several times. This is Jim Nichols, Alison's opponent. Now each state has a bronze medal event where the top 10 players in each state, or top 8 to 10 players in each state, are invited to participate in a round robin, and the winner of each state's event is effectively qualified for a gold medal event, which is held at the same time as the Interstate Cup in March of each year. Now, Jim didn't compete in the bronze medal this year. He was unavailable, unfortunately, but he's played in several big events, won various open tournaments, won the 2018